Hey, hi, me, Kirby, and today we'll be reviewing SpongeBob Season 2. Now the thing is, I meant to finish this last week. I meant to do it over the week and then maybe some in the weekend, but I forgot to do it. But now I'm finally done and I can finally review it. So let's go. Episode 21A, Your Shoes Untied. SpongeBob forgets how to tie his shoes. Now let me mention something. Now I'm gonna have the airing order along with the season and episode number in the corner. As you can see, right here is what day it aired on. Here is on which order this was aired on. And this is the season and episode number. Anyway, fun fact, SpongeBob has had his shoes since he was created. I can't really say born because I never showed him born. I forgot to mention, now I have a new term that I made up. Low dark. So the opposite of high is low, right? And the opposite of light is dark. So therefore, low dark would be the opposite of highlight. Anyway, my favorite part is just Patrick buying shoes. Why does he even need shoes anyway? My favorite part, though, is SpongeBob falling over. That gag went on for way too long. However, does this episode go on for way too long? Or has it ties its shoes? Well, it's a great episode, I'll give you that. Episode 21B, Squid's Day Off. Squidward gets put in charge. Fun fact, I saw a creepy YouTube poop on this. I guess I really do watch YouTube poops. Seriously, it was creepy. Anyway, my favorite part is Squidward's running sequence. Oh wait, I forgot to mention the quote in the last one. I got these shoes, Patrick. Anyway, have you finished those errands? SpongeBob. My least favorite part, though, is Freaky Face Squidward. I didn't really like it that much. That doesn't ruin this great episode, though. It's a pretty enjoyable experience through and through. Episode 22A. Something smells. SpongeBob gets bad breath. Fun fact, there is an audio glitch on the CD. There's a part where SpongeBob says, I just don't get it. Me neither. Patrick was the one that said the me neither. But yeah, my favorite part is the ugly barnacle story. Who could forget it? My least favorite part, though, was Patrick calling SpongeBob ugly. That went on for way too long. Anyway, I have the ugly barnacle story as the quote. There once was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end. This is a pretty great episode, though. I really did like everything in it. And I do like the whole ugly barnacle. Episode 22B. Bossy Boots. Pearl runs the Krusty Krab. Fun fact. This is Pearl's actually third appearance. I forgot about Squeaky Boots. Anyway, my favorite part was the horrifying names that SpongeBob came up with it. Wait, did I do Lowdown? I accidentally wrote Lowdown for that. Creepy Crab. The Killer Crab! Pearl even sounds like she was creeped out. Anyway, my least favorite part is Squidward's torture. Why does he deserve to be tortured like this? What did he do wrong? Whoops, I accidentally hit the spacebar, but it's a pretty great episode. Yeah, I do like it, and it is a nice showcase of how Pearl is in the face of power, and how she can make people feel. In episode 23A, Big Pink Loser. Patrick acts like SpongeBob. Fun fact. This is the second time that Patrick got hired. The first one was an ARG. He got fired right after, but he got hired. My least favorite part, or low darge, Patrick chopping himself. I like Patrick chopping himself with a jump rope. I didn't really find that funny. Anyway, my favorite part though was Patrick repeating SpongeBob, especially the at least I'm safe inside my mind. The quote is, of course, I wanted a award. The quote in the last one was, the Killer Crab. Anyway, so this is a great episode. It's a pretty nice and enjoyable experience through and through. Episode 23B, Bubble Buddy. Bubble Buddy annoys people. Fun fact, Leif Erikson Day is a real day. My favorite part was the bubble money joke. And also, everyone said, "Pop the bubble!" Anyway, my least favorite part though is Bubble Buddy. He does all of this horrible stuff. Anyway, so this one, however, does have a lot of problems. Bubble Buddy is a complete jerk. And he doesn't get any sort of punishment in the end, so if anything, he was good. Which then brings this episode down to a bad episode. It's only bad though because it could have done much worse. Yeah, this is the first bad episode in general. Episode 24A, Dying for Pie. Squidward gives SpongeBob a dangerous pie. Fun fact, Squidward is dumb. My favorite part is Mr. Krabs saying he's seen this before. He has till sunset until it blows him up. Yeah, the quote was something like that. I don't think it was exactly that. My least favorite part though is Squidward torture. Like, does Squidward really have to go through all of this torture for getting a pie that's a bomb that he didn't even know about? And he's trying to make up for it, so it's just kind of sad. However, it is a pretty great episode, and a nice showcase of how Squidward can really care about SpongeBob. Episode 24B, Imitation Krabs. Plankton disguises as Mr. Krabs. Fun fact, there will be more of this plot in Season 7. A lot more. Like 3 whole episodes. The last one I actually really like. Yeah, Showback's my favorite part is Robo Krabs as a character. He is a pretty nice villain. A pretty interesting one. Yeah. So, oh, Bikini Bottom, we pledge our heart to you is something. And anyway, nothing in here mentions that. Oh wait, my bad. Never mind. My low down is SpongeBob. It wasn't really that entertaining, I guess. There's something about him that I didn't really care about. It is a pretty great episode and a great show off of how Plankton is when he disguises as someone else. Because it is a pretty good plot line. So 25A, Wormy. SpongeBob takes care of a worm. Fun fact, Patrick was taken out of the description. Yeah, sometimes I'm dry on fun facts, so I have to just make up one. My favorite part was the butterfly. I did really like how the butterfly was. My least favorite part, however, was the weigh-in. And SpongeBob's like, first Wormy, then Squidward, and Mr. Krabs. Yeah, it's funny how we just had the sock puppets. However, this episode is bland. I mean, there isn't really a lot of substance in this episode, which really just drags it down to an okay. If it had a little more, like, comedy or something, then I could see it being at least a good. As it stands, it's just okay. Episode 25B, Patty Hype. SpongeBob makes new patties. Fun fact, the patties are painted. Not tainted meat, painted meat. My favorite part was the moral that dreams do come true. Yeah. My least favorite part is Mr. Krabs. However, he does kind of get what he deserves in the end, so it does kind of balance out. And this episode is actually pretty great. Like, all of these pretty patties, they're actually a pretty neat idea for an episode. So I gotta praise them for having a great idea. Episode 26A, Grandma's Kisses. SpongeBob tries to be mature for his grandmother. Fun fact, SpongeBob loves his grandmother. My favorite part is the talk from SpongeBob's grandmother. Below dark, though, is the people. They are complete jerks. Which really adds up for one terrible episode. Why would you make the people so unlikable? So I guess people really can be jerks. It's episode 26B, Squidville. Squidward moves out. In fact, this is the second time Squidward has tried to move out. The first one is in a certain other episode. My favorite part is Squidward being happy in his new town. It was pretty nice to see Squidward actually get to move out. My least favorite part is Squidward going crazy? Okay, yeah, I do not remember anything like that. My least favorite part was when he started using the reef blower like he went crazy. But that does not really drag down this otherwise pretty great episode. It's very nice to see. This is why Squidward doesn't move out. Because if he does, then it's boring. Right. Like, it does a much better job with the Squidward moving out formula than Opposite Day. Episode 27A, Pre-Hibernation Week. SpongeBob is kind to Sandy to help for hibernation. Fun fact, the industrial park returned in SpongeBob the Yellow Avenger. You probably know that I made a review on it. My favorite part is the places they went. The hay in the needle stack, though, was pretty violent, and I didn't find that funny. My least favorite part was Sandy torturing SpongeBob. And of course, SpongeBob has to get caught in the end. Yeah, if there's anything I didn't like, it was that. And that was actually very funny. Like, he breaks that guy into a square, then he starts saying, I'm ready, I'm ready. However, it's only a good episode because, well, to be honest, besides those traits, it doesn't really have a lot to offer. However, I can't really say it's mediocre because it does still have a lot of stuff I like. It's just not enough for me to consider it a great. That's why I have the good rating. Episode 27B, Life of Crime. SpongeBob thinks he stole a balloon. In fact, this is the second time I left Patrick out of the description. My favorite part is the logic joke. If we're underwater, how could there be a fire? My least favorite part is Patrick's role. Like, seriously, what? Yeah, the whole thing with who stole my chocolate, I didn't really like it. It just felt like 2 minutes of complete filler. That doesn't really fault this otherwise pretty great episode, though. It is a pretty nice experience through and through. Episode 28 SpongeBob. Christmas who? SpongeBob learns about Christmas. Fun fact, this is the first half-hour special of SpongeBob, which is definitely true. I don't know why I said it like that. My favorite part is the speech about Santa. It doesn't look like Sandy's talking about Santa. It looks like she's gone crazy. My least favorite part is Squidward giving away his stuff. That second half was just bland. It's Christmas and Fred from Texas. SpongeBob was a pretty nice quote. That was pretty funny. And now, time to go to the next part. Episode 28P. Patchy who? Patchy celebrates Christmas. In fact, this is the first episode of Patchy. Now, as you can see, I made this part have it. Oops, I forgot to change it back to red after I copied all of the images. Oh, jingle bells, my least favorite part is Potty's torture. Like, did he really deserve any of the torture? My favorite part, though, is the concept of Patchy trying to celebrate Christmas. Oh, what fun it is to ride one. The narrator really said name and address withheld, not name and address without. This episode overall, would I consider it pretty terrible or pretty great? Is it as great as Christmas cheer or as bad as Squidward is? Well, Squidward's not really that bad anyway. It's a pretty great episode and a nice showcase of Christmas. It really captures Christmas. Episode 29A, Survival of the Idiots. SpongeBob and Patrick get stuck in Sandy's street home. Fun fact, it was winter in this episode. That's actually pretty true. This could be the sequel to Pre-Hibernation Week. My favorite part was the Dirty Dad joke. I'm Dirty Dad. I'm Dirty Dad. My least favorite part, though, is the ending, where they have to cover Sandy. I didn't really like that much. But Patrick said, I just want to be Patrick. is pretty funny. You could be Dirty Dan. I just want to be Patrick. Right. That was pretty funny. And to say, this episode is actually a pretty funny episode. So yeah, this is a pretty great episode. And it's a nice way to showcase how it'd be if it was winter and Sandy had to hibernate. It's also funny because this isn't the first time that it was winter inside of Sandy's tree dome. Oh, Bubble Bunny was that. Anyway, episode 29B, Dumped. Gary ditches Spongebob. Now, this one is actually very interesting, because if you remember, I've already talked about this episode on my worst episodes of good cartoons. Now, I have changed my opinion a little bit on it. I don't think it's the worst of pre-movie SpongeBob, but I do still hate it more than I'm With Stupid. Mainly because this one doesn't have any funny jokes. Yeah, like in I'm With Stupid, his parents were the one that made a joke personally targeted towards SpongeBob and not how dumb he is. Yeah, so he had an excuse. My favorite part was Gary coming back in the end. My least favorite part, though, is Patrick. He is not a funny character. He's just mean. And I really don't like just how depressing this episode is. See, what are you on about? Have you seen the snail in season 4? This one is just depressing. Yeah, I never really minded Have You Seen the Snail. It was a pretty... that's not supposed to be the favorite quote. It's just supposed to be a quote from the episode. Anyway, this is the worst of season 2. And I really wish that people would talk about this a little more. And look, I changed it up. Instead of the jellyfish zapping Patrick, I changed it to Patrick zapping the jellyfish back. That's a pretty clever thing to do. Anyway, episode 38, No Free Rides. Mrs. Puff passes SpongeBob. To find out how bad it is. I don't think that would have fit in the description if I did all of that. Fun fact, there's a picture that copies what Mrs. Puff does in her house. Yeah. Once she enters Surprise, you can notice a picture of her entering Surprise. My favorite part, the fourth wall break, where they hit the narrator as he was speaking. My least favorite part, though, is Mrs. Puff being arrested. Why did she need to be arrested at the end of this? What did she do wrong to deserve it? Anyway, however, that doesn't fault this episode at all. It's a great episode. Oh yeah, the educational television thing. Cheese graters? Not even educational television! That's a pretty funny jab at educational programming. So yeah, pretty great episode. Episode 30B, I'm your biggest fanatic. SpongeBob tries to be cool for a club. Fun fact, the mascot is a sea cucumber. My favorite part is Patrick in the end. It's pretty funny how he captures Jerry the jellyfish. My favorite part, though, is part of Kevin's head being tore off. I was about to say ripped off, but I caught myself. Yeah, it's not funny because they cause him some serious pain. It's kind of like the firmly grasp it joke, where when other people laugh at it, I just see pain. Anyway, but it's a pretty great episode. Besides that one thing, there's nothing that I really minded about it. Yeah, I guess. And the whole loser thing. Anyway, episode 31A. Right Man of Barnacle Boy 3. A title so big that I had to get a second spatula just for the first title. SpongeBob and Patrick free Man Ray. Fun fact, the title was too big to fit. I already mentioned that. Favorite part was the wallet joke. I found it pretty funny. His favorite part is Man Ray laughing while talking. I didn't really find that funny. It's not that I hated it, I just didn't find it funny. Oh, wallet. That was pretty funny. And hey, say, this is a pretty great episode. A nice start on the Merryman and Barnacle Boy episodes, I'll say. Episode 31B. Squirrel jokes. SpongeBob insults Sandy, so people laugh at her. In fact, this ends with a joke about starfish. My favorite part was SpongeBob laughing at himself. Yeah. His favorite part though is everyone being a hypocrite. Once I found out what that word means, it's about some rules apply to some people, but not to others. So yeah. Now, SpongeBob is kind of unlikable, but I guess it is balanced out by him learning his lesson in the end. So it's an okay episode though, because everyone is pretty insulting to Sandy. And I don't find it funny at all. Buddy. Episode 32A. Pressure. Sandy and SpongeBob argue if sea creatures or land creatures are better. Something so big that it almost didn't even fit on the screen. Fun fact, there's a TikTok game based off of the puppets. I forget what it's called, but it's something along the lines of you tap on stuff and stuff happens. My favorite part is SpongeBob getting back at Sandy. I'm more on the SpongeBob side than Sandy's in this one. My least favorite part, though, is Sandy the first time in the war, where she's all like, I say I'm already halfway there, and she ends up winning, which I didn't really like. Halfway there, halfway there, halfway there. Pretty funny stuff. Wait, do we have to wear pickle jars? Oh, that was funny. And say, this is a decently funny episode. It's a great one, and a nice showcase of all of this stuff, because it is a pretty funny thing. So 22B, the smoking peanut. SpongeBob accidentally hurts a clam. Wait, I accidentally put 22 on these? Anyway, SpongeBob accidentally hurts a clam. Fun fact, I named the spatula Spat. I said that because I didn't really have a fun fact for this episode. My favorite part is SpongeBob telling the cops what he did. The peanut! The Patrick! My favorite part is SpongeBob having to go through this. I didn't really like having to see SpongeBob go through. This didn't really make me laugh. It just made me feel sorry for him. It's only a good episode because of those details alone. Episode 33A, SpongeBob, Shanghai. SpongeBob and Patrick get stuck on the Flying Dutchman ship. In fact, this is the first true Flying Dutchman episode. After the first one he appeared in, not as a character, but as a reference to Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost. And my favorite part is the quote, "Lita, Lita, Lita, Lita." Patrick. My favorite part, though, is Squidward being put back on the ship. He didn't want that. Why did he have to have that happen? That's actually pretty clever. And over on the Patchy side, so 33AP, you wish. I couldn't really find out a description since I couldn't think of one. Like, the thing is, I've never seen this before, and I didn't even know that this episode had Patchy segments at one point until I watched Pie Guy Rules' video on season 2. And fun fact, these were tweaked, then cut later on. My favorite part is, my least favorite part is, my favorite quote, the quote is, by, like, yeah, they tweaked it, then cut it entirely, so I would never be able to know what happened in it. It's a pretty odd, I don't really know why, like, it can't really affect this, but the episode itself isn't really that interesting. It's only good mainly because, well, there's just not a lot to it. I mean, when you really think about it, there's not a lot to the plot. Hey, it rhymed. Almost. Funny. Yeah. My episode 33B. Gary takes a bath. Gary refuses to take a bath. Before I say anything about the episode, look at that air date. This aired in 2003. Making this the last episode aired of this season. Anyway, fun fact. This episode was banned in the UK because Not because of how bad it was, but because of the whole don't drop the doubloons joke. And my least favorite part is Gary. He is not likable at all. Yeah, like, since he ends up on top, and especially has that smug smile, I could not feel happy for him winning. Yeah. This is a terrible episode, though. You see that smile right there as the image? That's the exact smile that Gary gave after SpongeBob says, yeah, I'll brush behind the ears. Yeah, he didn't care at all. Episode 34A, Welcome to the Chum Bucket. Title so big that the spatula didn't even fit on the screen. SpongeBob has to work at the Chum Bucket. In fact, Mr. Krabs is voiced by a different person in this episode. My favorite part is this song. I don't think it's the best SpongeBob song like a number of people say. I wouldn't really say it's on my top 10 SpongeBob songs. But it's a pretty good song. Is it Grail? Surely so, but a guy did a top 25 SpongeBob songs and put it on number 1, and he didn't even put Never Give Up on the list. And there's no excuse because he put Santa Has His Jolly Little Eyes on me on it. Anyway, my least favorite part is SpongeBob being spoiled to the point where he's a complete jerk. I work for free. My treat. However, this episode is great. You thought I was gonna say something bad? Nah. It's a pretty great episode. That is kind of funny in the end. So 24B, Frankendoodle. SpongeBob makes a living doodle of himself. Fun fact, there is a fan game based off of this episode. My favorite part is Patrick's quote, which he says after being hit by a wrench and it lands on his lap.
Where's the
Weak, ma'am. My least favorite part is SpongeBob being erased. I didn't find that funny. Oh, well, anyway, but this is a very memorable episode. I haven't even mentioned how memorable the episodes in this season are. This is another pretty memorable episode. The episode hasn't aired by the time of recording this, so yeah. About time of uploading this probably because, anyway. It's a pretty great and memorable episode. Episode 35A, The Secret Box. Patrick has a secret, and SpongeBob must know it. Fun fact, Patrick's picture could have been from Christmas Who. Like, the picture could have been the one taken when Squidward was laughing at him and then took a picture of him being sad. Yeah, favorite part is SpongeBob's secret stuff. Like, my secret Gary's bowl. That's not secret if it belongs to someone. Anyway, my least favorite part is Patrick. He is a complete jerk. People like his jerkiness, but I don't. It brings it down to a very low okay. Pretty close to being a bad. Again? Geez, I was more lazy than I thought I was with those transitions. Well, episode 35B, Band Geeks. Squidward makes a band. In fact, the song was not a new song. It was recorded in 1980 something, but then got aired for it. No, not that song. Anyway, my favorite part is Patrick asking if mayonnaise is an instrument. Is mayonnaise an instrument? And Squidward was like, no, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either. One was blowing into the drumsticks. Then they all land on Squidward and pin him to the wall, and he says, too bad that didn't kill me. That's actually a pretty dark joke. Everything else is great, and this is a very nice episode. And a pretty good showcase of if the world's not against Squidward, then he could be a pretty nice guy. Episode 36A, Graveyard Shift. Whoops, I forgot to put the transition. Everyone must work at the night shift with SpongeBob. In fact, there are 3 animation errors. There's one where his freckles disappeared. There's another one where apparently something wrong with the sign that said the item of the day, but I have no idea what it was. And there's a third one where while he was speaking, his eyes suddenly got wider than they initially were. I'll just point it out in the YouTube poop of this episode. Anyway, yeah, it's already a great episode, which was dated. Like, seriously, that would have been a better twist. Yeah. So 36B, Krusty Love. Mr. Krabs falls in love with Mrs. Puff. Fun fact, Mr. Puff got killed and turned into a lamp. I do not even mean that sarcastically. That literally happened. My favorite part is SpongeBob freaking out about all that happened. You can see that I made all of the things Valentine's Day's colors, or Valentine's Day colors. Anyway, it was funny when Mr. SpongeBob's like, it's not about this. Then he draws a circle, and he's like, or this. And then he draws a rectangle, and then he's like, it's all about this. And draws all over the screen. My favorite part, though, is Mr. Krabs. He keeps on conflicting about wanting the money, or wasting money, and spending more money on Mrs. Puff. I didn't really care for that. It is a pretty great episode, though, and I do like it. Pretty nice showcase of love. Episode 37A, Procrastination. SpongeBob tries to do a report, but can't. In fact, I used to be scared of this episode when I was like 5 or something. My favorite part is all of it being pointless. My favorite part, though, is a freak out sequence. It really scared me, and if I didn't like it growing up, why would I like it more now? Anyway, hey, how's my favorite snail? SpongeBob said to Gary. Yeah. Anyway, it's a pretty okay episode, though, because I never really liked this episode. Like, why does SpongeBob have the freak out sequence anyway? I mean, is it because he's scared? I didn't really like how everything seemed to not like SpongeBob. Episode 37B, I'm with Stupid. SpongeBob acts dumb for Patrick. Now, this one is the one that I had the controversial opinion of not thinking that it's the worst of pre-movie SpongeBob. Well, to be honest, Patrick doesn't start it. But look. I have an ongoing quote. Look. It's a note. Yeah, on the other side, there's a letter. That's funny. Fun fact, this is the most overhated pre-movie SpongeBob episode. Mainly because people say that it's the worst. My favorite part was the note joke that was the quote joke. My favorite part was Patrick being a jerk. Why is he like that? Yeah. Like maybe he forgot, or maybe his parents made him think that. It's still a terrible episode, though, because Patrick still isn't likable either way. Anyway, yeah, episode 38A, Sailor Mouth. Ron Patrick learn a bad word. Fun fact, they were probably saying, Bob! My favorite part is everyone reacting to SpongeBob swearing. Krabs is a, ah! I tried to make a seal noise, but I'm not good at it. My voice isn't high enough anymore. But yeah, my least favorite part is Patrick's behavior while they were playing the game. He wasn't that likable, he was just a jerk. And yeah, it isn't really that funny of an episode. Like, if you find SpongeBob and Patrick swearing funny, then this would be hilarious, but I guess I didn't really find it that funny. It's only a good, but that's mainly because of Patrick's behavior while playing the game. Episode 38B, Artist Unknown. Squidward tries to help SpongeBob learn. In fact, the world is hypocritical towards Squidward. Favorite part was the hands running away and then going in the can. Oh, it's funny. All SpongeBob saying, I shall give birth to art! Or the guy being a complete jerk. Does he really deserve all of that hate? His art isn't even that bad. Like, his art isn't even that bad. That's why it's kind of sad. And so that brings it down to an okay, because this is just another Squidward torture episode that people like for some reason. Like, why can't Squidward be on the top? Why does the trash guy have to be? What did he do to deserve to be on top? Anyway, episode 39A, Jellyfish Hunter. SpongeBob harms jellyfish for Mr. Krabs to make money. Fun fact, Mr. Krabs is kind of a jerk. My favorite part is the jellyfish getting back at Mr. Krabs. He definitely deserves it. My least favorite part, though, is Mr. Krabs being unfair. Like, he is seriously unfair. Like, jerkishly unfair. Now, this episode does have the problem of Mr. Krabs being a jerk, which I think did start some things that made them think that it's okay to mess around with Krabs being a jerk, but it's still a pretty great episode. Episode 39B, the fry cook games. SpongeBob and Patrick will fight over who's a better fry cook. In fact, Chowder would recreate this episode about 7 years later. And the Apprentice games. All of the apprentices fight. Oh, what? Oh. The Apprentice games. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. My favorite part is the end. It's just so sweet. My least favorite part, though, is SpongeBob at the beginning. He's kind of bragging at Patrick. Yeah. Plankton saying win because I told you to was pretty funny. And say, this is a pretty great back and forth. Episode 48, Squid on Strike. Squidward and SpongeBob go on strike. In fact, this set was aired weirdly. Like, the set, Squid on Strike, and Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm, like, it depends on which one you look on if this one is first. The description or on what order the episodes play in. My favorite part is SpongeBob not against Squidward. He doesn't seem to be against Squidward. He seems like he genuinely wants to be on the strike and get in. It's funny how Squidward's like, not a picket fence! My least favorite part is Squidward losing. Why did he have to lose? Squidward has had all of his punishment, so why does he need to lose? It doesn't falter this otherwise pretty great episode. Anyway, episode 40B, Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm. Sandy and SpongeBob must defeat a worm. Fun fact, this is the last episode of SpongeBob Season 2. Well, depending on how you look at it. My favorite part is just that quote. It's big, hairy, and pink! So is Patrick's belly button! Anyway, yeah, my favorite part, though, is Patrick pushing the town. Like, why did that have to happen, exactly? What was the relevance of it? Guess it is kind of funny, though. Yeah, it's a pretty great episode, although it's probably one of the most boringly titled episodes of SpongeBob history. It is pretty great, and a nice way to end off the season. Now, let's look at the charts. As you can see, we have 25 greats, 4 goods, 5 okays, 1 bad, and 4 terribles. Now, comparing it to Season 1, this one is actually much better. Like, it has more goods, but less okays, so that's pretty good. It has less terribles in the first bad, so as you can see, it's leaning more toward it. So, it's a great season. Although some of it got caught in the same colored thing. Anyway, now on to notes. On to notes. There are less terrible episodes. That's pretty noticeable. Yeah, Patrick is way less likable, though. I really do not like him in this season. And there's more memorable episodes. Speaking of memorability, come on! Why do I have such lousy stuff? Well, I guess now you know what number 1 is.
Whoa.
Number 5, Frankendoodle. This one is pretty memorable and pretty funny and a pretty nice way to begin the list. Number 4, Jellyfish Hunter. This one I really did find funny. Number 3, Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy 3. A nice twist on Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Number 2, the Robo Crabs or whatever it was called. Oh, yeah, Imitation Crabs. It's a pretty memorable and funny episode. And now time for the bottom 5. I left that one there on purpose. Number 5, Bubble Buddy. I really just want to pop him. Yeah, it's the only bad episode that you're probably going to see on their bottom 5s. Number 4, Grandma's Kisses. Just a pretty sad episode of SpongeBob being kissed by his grandmother and just having to be embarrassed by it. Also, this continues the theme from last season of having a picture from 2 seasons later being inside of it. Number 3, Gary takes a bath. This is just not funny. I did not like Gary winning in the end, and he is just so smug about it. Number 2, I'm with stupid. I really do not like how much of a jerk Patrick is. That's why I renamed it I'm with jerk. And number 1, dumped. Now, just like last season, let's listen to what Page Rose had to say about it, because it's actually pretty interesting.
Episode, and it's just a good episode overall. Episode 29B, Dumped. SpongeBob gets jealous when Gary starts spending a lot of time with Patrick. Fun fact, Gary purrs like a cat, because Gary pretty much is a cat. Because snails are cats. SpongeBob is weird. Anyway, my favorite part is Gary playing with Patrick. But, should I dump this episode in with the good ones or the bad ones? Well, actually, it's gonna go with the meh episodes. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I really wanted to give this one a good episode moniker, but for the life of me, I couldn't really remember any jokes that were particularly funny. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad or anything, it's nice to watch, it's quite an interesting story, and there are a few gags that kinda work, I suppose, but nothing is really that funny. And compared to the other episodes in the season, wow, is this one just missing something?
Yeah, it's interesting how I rated a meh episode, because he's like the only other person that hates dumped more than I'm with stupid that's not me. But that will end this video finally. Goodbye.